Again, I'd like to thank Mr. Witt for getting us all structured and focused on the purpose why we're here. And it's real interesting to hear him say that what we need is to acquire, build, deploy, maintain, and create a network that works for the emergency responders, public safety community today. Matter of fact, 17 years ago, we needed it. I remember not too long ago when I was with a different trade association, wrote a letter to, actually a memo to the then Tom Ridge right after September 11th, and suggested that we create an interoperable network. And there were resources to do it and the will to do it at that time, I thought. But we may have had the will, but I think we've been chasing, and some of the public safety groups themselves have been chasing a red herring and not the focus that Mr. Witt has, which is to create a network. I'll leave with you four concepts. Continuity of service is something we're all committed to, and we understand the need for that. We do not want to send our emergency responders out there in the field without continuity of service. We need redundancy in a real way. And if you look at the threats that are out there in the world today, the first pattern is to take down the emergency system or the emergency responder capability. So you need a redundant system that not only has one system, as Mr. Witt said, but a capability of having some redundancy. Interoperability, true interoperability, and capacity. And just because we're talking about capacity doesn't mean that you're talking about more spectrum. I think that is one of the errors that has been made. You've just learned a little about LTE, long-term evolution technology, phenomenal technology. 1 megahertz of, or 110 megahertz of LTE, if I'm correct, is almost equivalent of 160 megahertz of spectrum in the traditional architectural deployment scheme that public safety has utilized. We're going to have to do better. Everyone in the United States wants to do better. So I think if we would look at the real issue of acquiring, building, maintaining, operating, creating a public safety network that is truly interoperable. And I'd spend just a minute on interoperability because we have two definitions competing here in my mind. One is the public safety definition of interoperability, which is good in and of itself that all public safety users can communicate with each other. But it does not mean interoperability. When that system goes down, as Mr. Witt said, that everyone is out of sync. No one communicates. What they need is interoperability in the truest sense of the form, the way carriers can consider interoperability, the ability to access any network that's in that area that with comparable, capable technology. That's what public safety users need, and they shouldn't be, I think, drawn away by what I think is a red herring when public safety says we need interoperability. It's good that public safety can talk to one another, but they also need to be able to talk to anyone else in that area, in that region, regardless of whether their network is up and running. And I think we need to focus on that. I agree that technology is there. I wish we would focus now on how do we fund it and how are we going to build it. And that's why I think the FCC proposal is time has come.